Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Ask An Introvert podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Ho. If you don't know me, I'm an introvert, and I'm a life coach who helps introverts take root into our natural personalities and lead by example to have the life we want in a way that works for us. What that looks like for me personally is having friends all over the world, traveling every chance I get, and doing work that lights me up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm beyond excited, nervous to start this podcast. In a world full of extroverts who can't stop talking, this introvert is taking the stage to create a space where introverts are centered and feel like we belong. Why is this important to me? It's my mission to make the world more introverted because I think the extroverted way is hurting all of us. Extroverts are capable of being on all of the time. But when we default to being on all of the time, that is the cornerstone of grind and hustle culture. And that's not really working for us. I don't think it's even working for the extroverts because none of us are 100% introverted or 100% extroverted, which means that we all have an introverted part of us to accept and to celebrate. I remember kindergarten. Yeah, I have the receipt to prove it on my report cards. I remember as early as age 5 being told I was too quiet, being told I need to speak up more, being told I was awkward. And I interpreted that as needing to adapt to fit how they think I should be. And I didn't realize later that it was for them to be comfortable instead of for me. But I did buy into it. Over the course of my life, I've tried to change to fit in. I mustered up the energy to speak louder. I powered through to take that fifth meeting of the day. I stopped listening to what people were saying and focused and spent all of my energy planning out what to say so that I can get a word in and insert myself into conversations. And while I was doing all of that, deep down, I kept feeling like something was wrong with me. And in my mind, I thought it would all be easier if only I was more extroverted. And so I felt so miserable. And of course I was. That feeling inside where I felt like something was wrong with me was actually a signal. It was pushing me to think about how can I be happy if I have to overcome being introverted, overcome being myself. If you're always trying to be something else, someone else, and always beating yourself up for who you are, always hiding away, of course you'll never be happy. How can any of us choose to be happy if we can't choose ourselves? So, what if instead I had someone who told me it was okay to be quiet, that it was okay to sit back and observe, that it was them who felt awkward in my silence? Instead of finding fault in me, instead of trying to convince me that I was wrong, what if it's okay to be introverted? I'm here to tell you it is. And I'm choosing intentionally to be a visible example of it because I recognize it can be difficult to notice and identify other introverts in the world. In fact, I'm tired of being mistaken for an extrovert when I speak on stage, host an event, or hold my own in a conversation. Those aren't extrovert traits. They're skills that we have mistakenly credited to extroverts just because they might be more naturally inclined to have those skills. Why is being confident credited to extroverts? Why is being charismatic credited to extroverts? Why is being conversational credited to extroverts? Confidence, charisma, conversation, those are all skills. And there's different styles of each. There's outward confidence and there's inner confidence. There's loud charisma and there's quiet charisma. There's good conversations and there's deep conversations. And there's room for all of this. There's room for all of us. But right now, it doesn't feel like it. There isn't room for all of it when we hear things like, you're too introverted to do this, or I didn't think an introvert could do that. I'm here to take the stage to claim appreciation, respect, and space for introverts. We have so much to give and offer this world. We already give and offer so much, and now we're going to take credit for it. And we're going to provide our opinion even if no one asks for it. You know what's great about this podcast stage? This is my stage, and no one can talk over me. I can say as much as I want that it's the introverted way that's going to help and change the world we live in. Our brains are literally wired for a different way of being. And unfortunately, that often gets framed as weakness because we live in a world, a capitalistic society that prioritizes productivity and making things happen quickly. So if you're the opposite, it suddenly sounds like a weakness, but I want to challenge that. Do introverts need time to process things? Or are we capable of processing things deeply and connecting the dots that others can't? Do we need alone time to feel our best? Or are we independent of external stimuli and input? Do we need to recharge? Or are we in tune with our capacity and have a natural inclination for self-care? I don't know about you, but framing it like that, those sound like strengths. And I encourage you to join me. Let's be openly introverted and show people what they're missing. Show the world more ways and styles of being human. Let's lead by example. So, if you'd like to hear more about navigating life as an introvert, the highs and lows of being introverted, or simply the perspective of anything and everything coming from an introvert, you're in the right place. This is what the Ask an Introvert podcast is all about. I'm here for you, and you're not alone. Now, if you are as excited about the future of this podcast as I am, I do have a few favors to ask of you. Number 1, subscribe. Number 2, leave a review. Number 3, screenshot this and share it on your socials. I would appreciate any and all of those so very much. And as always, remember that being introverted is not something to overcome. It's something to love. It's okay to be introverted and to be you. I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode.